right.
Okay, since we are on this area, this location, can I fast forward in time to 10 years later in 1968-69, opposite Tropicana. I mentioned to you Tropicana.
We have the photo of that. Do you want to look at the photo?
Might as well, because since we are here, we won't be visiting again.
This is the second one. Right?
That's Tropicana, which has been renovated second time. The first Tropicana, were more or less similar in shape and size. It's the leading entertainment spot in Singapore, where it incorporates a restaurant and the shows after the restaurant, or rather in between your dining, shows are being performed. And it's restricted, it's highly restricted only to above 21. Because for the first time in Singapore, the authorities introduced, or rather gave permission for topless artists to perform. And I remember the first topless artist from Japan. And that's because I was invited with some of my father's friends, old friends, to dining. And we were all adults. So I was a very young adult. So I had that opportunity, call it privilege, to sight the topless bars. It was something unprecedented, something very important in my changing my lifestyle. And the restaurant, they serve excellent food, Cantonese cuisine. And in the daytime, it served dim sum, luncheon for lunch. And a very popular restaurant for weekends, especially on Sundays, completely packed. And you've got to wait for your queue, your turn, whatever, on Sundays. Very popular dining place. Recall, in those days, not many restaurants, unlike today's in Singapore. Now I'm talking about Chinese restaurants. Okay, so enough of Tropicana. Let's go back
to... the restaurant and the topless dancing are separate.
The topless dancing is held in the restaurant for diners, diners having their dinners at dining time, dinner time, 8 o'clock plus.
Right, and they are dancing on a stage, right?
There's a stage.
Right. It's not erotic dancing, right? It's synchronized dancing. A group dance, right?
I like the word you use, synchronized group, rather than erotic, because
it's not pole dancing. My thinking will be pole dancing.
No, not that. You were too advanced already at that time, that era. It was quite not that bad after all. It's group dancing.
It's still quite mild, right? It's still quite mild. It's not meant to be erotic. It's just, I don't know why they had allowed it. This kind of mild.
Well, I remember Goh Keng Shui's statement, and that is to attract tourism, to promote tourism, because Singapore was in the throes of economic development. In any economic sector that you could capitalize, just do it. So tourism is one industry that the government was emphasizing, because there's no capital. Tourists come to Singapore and then they visit the place, shopping, whatever. And these are the little landmarks offered to them with shows, so they come. And unlike today, it's so competitive. People come to Singapore. You've got Shanghai, you've got Guangzhou, you've got, of course, Hong Kong, and then you've got now Hanoi. So it's competitive. So it's a different dynamics.
It seems a bit strange, though, that it would be inside a Cantonese restaurant, right? If it's tourists, wouldn't it make more sense to have it in a Western restaurant?
Yes, quite right, because Singapore is still very oriental in character, in definition. So they talk about coming to Singapore, not where our famed Chinatown is located, and then everything is Chinese, because we are majority Chinese population.